Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And before we get into today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. So, the quarterfinals have just wrapped up today as of recording of the Olympic football, and the games didn't disappoint. All four of them were very entertaining from minute 1 to minute 90, and in some cases right until the end, because we had two games that went to penalty shootouts. And we'll start off with the game that has literally just finished, and that is between the Netherlands and the USA, as it was a repeat of the 2019 World Cup final. And it was the perfect start for the Netherlands as Vivianne Miedema scored on a 100th appearance for the Netherlands, and it looked like it would be a great start. But however, that lead lasted only 10 minutes as Samantha Mewes pulled one back, and then the US doubled their lead within 3 minutes as Lynn Williams scored her first goal at the Olympics. 2-1 in at the break. All things looking good for Vlatko Andonovski's side. However, Miedema scored again 10 minutes into the second half, and the game then just kept going end to end throughout the rest of the game. Even in extra time, both teams had chances to score, and the US had some goals ruled out for offside, and the Netherlands also had a goal or two ruled out for offside. Correct calls from what I've been able to see of all of them. And yeah, it's a very, very good game. We went to penalty kicks, and it was the US that ended up winning 4-2 on penalties, with Megan Rapinoe, Kristen Press, Alex Morgan and Rose Lavelle scoring all 4 penalties for the US. Vivianne Miedema and Aniek Nouwen missed the 2 penalties for the Netherlands. Very disappointing, obviously, for Sarina Wiegman in what was her final game in charge of the Netherlands, as she now gets set to take over England in September. Elsewhere, we will go to the very first game that took place, 0-0 between Canada and Brazil after 120 minutes, and it was Canada that ended up winning 4-3 on penalties. A game that Brazil heavily dominated in terms of possession, but elsewhere the game was fairly even in terms of shots between the both teams and shots on target, so neither team could find a way past either goalkeeper, and it was Canada that went on to win 4-3 on penalties, with Jessie Fleming, Ashley Lawrence, Adriana Leone and Vanessa Gilles scoring the 4 penalties for Canada, whilst Marta Dabinia and Erica scored the 3 for Brazil, with Rafaela and Andressa Alves missing for Brazil, whilst Christine Sinclair missed the very first penalty for Canada. So they have set up a semi-final, as the US will take on Canada on Monday, the 2nd of August, so in a couple of days' time, at 9 AM UK time. That is British summer time, so please check your local listings for the correct time there. And the other semi-finals that have been set up sees Australia. They advance after knocking out Great Britain 4-3. Sam Kerr scored a brace, Mary Fowler scored 1, and Alana Kennedy also scored as the Matildas advance. Again, Sam Kerr turning up when she needs to, getting the goals and putting the misery on Great Britain, who Ellen White scored a hat-trick for. But there was a missed penalty in that game where Caroline Weir had a penalty to draw England back level, but she had her penalty saved. Yeah, again, another game end-to-end the whole way through. There was periods of the time where Great Britain dominated, other periods where Australia dominated, and then very much so after Sam Kerr scored her first of the game, it looked like Australia would then go on to win the game, which they obviously did. And they set up a semi-final against Sweden, who beat Japan 3-1 thanks to Magdalena Eriksson, Stina Blackstenius and Kosovari Aslani with the goals for Sweden, whilst Mina Tanaka scored the only goal for Japan. Again, Sweden have been the best team, won all of their games so far in this tournament, not had to go to extra time or anything, and they are still looking dangerously possible for that gold medal match, which I did say in the predictions at the start of this tournament, so I wouldn't be surprised if we still have Sweden versus the US possible for the final. And then obviously that second semi-final takes place at midday UK time, so that's 1200 hours BST. Again, make sure you check your local listings for when that game takes place, and the the final and the third place match will take place a couple of days later on into next week. So we will be back, obviously, at the early part of next week to wrap up the semi-finals, look ahead to the final and the third place match, and look at all the transfer news that has happened around the world of football as well. Until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a post. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram as well to keep up to date with all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And until next week, we'll see you soon.